Welcome into the Commander's Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're going to take a look forward here to the 2026 offseason, talk about some of the free agents that the Commanders have coming up towards this next offseason, and then also talk about which of those free agents the Washington Commanders should look to extend this offseason to lock them up for the long-term future. We're going to talk about this today, guys. You might be sitting at home saying, Jack, why are we talking about 2026 free agents? Well, sometimes this affects the way that the team builds the roster this offseason because they have to look ahead to the roster openings they're going to have in future seasons. So I think it's important for us to understand that. So that's why we're going to be talking about 2026 free agents and extension candidates here for the Washington Commanders. But before we get into it, we really do appreciate all of your guys' support, guys. And if you want to send in a super thanks to kind of quote-unquote tip us, me and Joey, for all the hard work that we put in for you guys here at the Commanders Report, we would greatly appreciate it. Of course, we provide these videos for you guys 100% free, and by no means are we demanding that you guys put in any money or donate any money to the channel. But if you do appreciate the work that we put in, every single dollar goes towards making this channel better. It goes towards getting new equipment. It goes towards keeping the lights on. It goes towards improving our graphics set. So if you guys want to click the thanks button, it's the logo that looks like this. It is the heart with the dollar sign in the middle, and you guys appreciate the coverage that we give to you guys every day. We greatly appreciate all of your guys' support, but again, it's definitely not required. Okay, now, just so you guys know, there are more 2026 free agents on this Commanders roster here in 2025 that won't be listed today, but I wanted to list the ones that were more notable and the ones that are going to be the ones that the Commanders need to put a focus on replacing in the 2026 offseason moving forward. So you take a look at the free agents this year for the Washington Commanders or heading into next year. So these are all the players that have roles, starting roles or rotational roles on the roster that are going to be free agents next offseason. So Terry McLaurin, your number one receiver. Deebo Samuel, who you traded for this offseason and arguably your number two wide receiver as it stands today. Bobby Wagner, the team captain of the defense, great run stuffer and blitzer from the off-ball linebacker alignment. Then you got Zach Ertz, Jaden Daniels is Binky, as I like to call him. These are players that would not be very easy to replace. Matt Gay, who the team just signed as the team's new kicker, paid him $4.25 million on a one-year deal to replace Zane Gonzalez. Then you got Austin Eckler, who this team paid last offseason. He's probably entering the final year of his NFL career. Same thing with Bobby Wagner. Andrew Wiley, the team restructured his deal to keep him around, but he's just going to have one more year on his current deal before he hits the open market in 2026. Dietrich Wise just signed a one-year contract here to be a rotational piece, potential starter here with the Washington Commanders here in 2025. Noah Brown, a wide receiver who they decided to bring back. He was a free agent this year, signed him back to another one-year deal after showing some good things with the Commanders in a short stint last year. Then Jeremy Reeves, your special teams ace, is going to be a free agent next year as well. Tress Way, who's a little bit of an older punter at this point in his career, but had a really good season last year after a couple of seasons where he was starting to look like he was on the decline. This will be a big year for Tress Way to prove himself as a long-term punter option for this team. Jacob Martin, who this team brought in, had a couple of sacks last year for Chicago. He's going to be a rotational edge rusher. Cleveland Ferrell, another guy that's going to be a part of the rotation here. At edge is also slated to be a free agent. Then you got Sheldon Day, defensive tackle, another person in this rotation that had a really good 2024 campaign that's going to be a free agent in 2026. And then B-Rob, Brian Robinson Jr. as well. So you got both of your starting running backs slated to be free agents next year as well. So listen, man, this team has a lot of aging veterans on it, all right? And obviously this is a team that's trying to win now. You got Jaden Daniels as your starting quarterback on an affordable rookie contract. And the Commanders right now are trying to take advantage of every opportunity that they have while they still have Jaden Daniels under cost control on that rookie contract to try and win as many Super Bowls as they possibly can. All right. And with that, you're going to bring on some, older players. And, I would say that for these three players right here, we're nearing the end of their NFL journeys. Bobby Wagner did sign another one-year deal, and I would expect him to just sign one-year deals with the Commanders until he's ready to hang them up. Is this his last year? Maybe. I think if they win a Super Bowl, it's almost for sure. But if they make another NFC Championship game, could we see him come back for another season? I think it's possible. but we'll have to see on that. Zach Ertz, tight end as well, another guy that's definitely nearing the end of his career. We'll see how long he wants to play. And then Austin Eckler, I think, is another guy that's probably entering the final year of his NFL journey, if not at least the last 2 or 3 years, if he does decide to stick around. But I just hope that the Washington Commanders and their replacement plans for these positions end up working out, whether it's the plan is to bring in new veterans in free agency in future seasons, whether that's to draft somebody new in future seasons in the early rounds, or whether it's to go with kind of the top options that are currently on the roster, like someone like Jordan McGee, who they drafted out of Temple last year. You know, he spent last year really learning and developing behind Bobby Wagner and, of course, Frankie Louvu. This year, he's expected to take on a little bit of a larger role in the rotation. And maybe by the end of this year, he's ready to take on a full-time starting role. Ben Sinnott, tight end out of Kansas State, is another guy that this team drafted relatively early, and he didn't really play a whole lot last year. So will we see him get an increased role this year in preparation for him to be the full-time starter? That still remains to be seen. Then Ja'Cory Croskey-Merritt, who this team drafted in the 7th round this year, but was an absolute steal in my opinion. He was the MVP, the offensive MVP of the Shrine Bowl this year, which I attended, and he looked absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he was great. He's a little bit undersized, but man, he is fast and explosive, and he's got really quick feet, and I'm really excited to see what he can do this year, potentially as a number 3 running back behind Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler here in Washington. Now, I think that only 2 players on this team this year get extensions. So talking about all those free agents that we talked about, I think there's just 2 that the Commanders will seriously think about giving extensions to. All right, and Jeremy Reeves is one where I think if they're going to extend him, it's going to be very, very affordable. That's one of those deals where Reeves just really wants to stay with this organization, and as a special teams ace, he signs a contract at a super low value, super team friendly to lock him up long term. But the big expenditure this offseason, guys, I expect to be scary Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver, and this is something that we have been waiting on this entire season and this entire offseason for to this point. Terry's extension is going to come at some point this offseason. I'm pretty much sure of that, and it's going to be sizable whenever it comes. Now, the question is, how sizable is that contract extension going to be? Because you take a look at the highest paid wide receivers on a per-year basis in the National Football League right now on their current contracts. Jamar Chase, it currently tops the market at $40.25. Man, that's over $5 million more per season than any other receiver in the game. All right, so Justin Jefferson sitting at $35, CeeDee Lamb sitting at $34, DK Metcalf got paid this offseason at a $33 million per season mark. A.J. Brown and, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown are making a lot of money. Brandon Ayuk's making a lot of money. Tyreek Hill's making a lot of money. So for me, guys, I think Terry is going to want to make at least $30 million per season. All right? Like that puts him in the top 10. That puts him in the same category as Tyreek Hill and some of the other top wide receivers in the game. And if I would have to expect what this contract's going to look like, I would expect it to be at least 3 years, $30 million per season, and it could get all the way up to like $33 million per season, in my opinion, guys, because Terry is a really, really good player. You can even make an argument that he is around the same area as a guy like DK Metcalf in terms of where he ranks among NFL wide receivers. He's a legit number 1, a legit alpha. He does everything for you that you want on an NFL football field, whether it's route running, whether it's being a vertical threat, whether it's making tough catches, whether it's yards after the catch, whatever you want Terry McLaurin to do, he has proven to be able to do that. And, you know, he's a do-it-all type of alpha receiver, and you pay guys like that even if they're getting close to 30 years old. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Terry's currently 29, but he'll be 30 during the season. So is paying a 30-year-old Terry McLaurin worth $30 million per season in your eyes? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Simply give me a yes or a no down there in the comment section. For me personally, I think he's absolutely worth that kind of money. He's an awesome receiver. He's got a great connection with Jayden Daniels. If you really want to commit to winning Super Bowls during the early portion of Jayden Daniels' career while he's on that rookie contract, you lock up Terry McLaurin for one more big contract. All right, guys, that'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report. A little bit of a reminder here, guys, that on any of our videos, if you feel like you got enough value from it that you feel like you want to tip me and Joey, our producer here, you guys can send in a super thanks, which again, it's that money symbol with the heart around it. Down below this video, you can send in any dollar amount. We really do appreciate anything that you guys send to our channel, so thank you guys so much in advance for helping us out. That'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate you guys stopping by and making it to the end of today's show. Until next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.